Hi, my name is Beth. I was working on a pair of fit pants the other day and my pattern had an instruction on the piece that I didn't like. So I decided to hack it. So on the pocket piece of the pattern, I don't want to show the whole thing, so I'm going to fold it in half, but I want you to see, it says, do not put pockets on a yoga waistband. Well, I want a yoga waistband and pockets. And I've never been one to follow the rules. So you're right. As is, you cannot put your pockets on. You're not going to have enough of an opening to put your hand in. And that's why it's telling you that. But you can hack it. And so that's what we're going to do today. Okay. So I have a couple pieces I cut out here. I didn't do the full pattern just because I wanted to show you what I did to my pattern. So you're going to have your woman's front piece, and it will be the full leg. I just have the first two pieces on the side of the hip to show you what I did. And you're also going to have your full pocket. I just have part of it. So the first thing you want to do is, if you know you're making the yoga waistband, is you need to figure out on your pocket where your yoga waistband line is. To do that, what I did is I took my pocket and I laid it on top and followed the curve of the pocket around to make sure that they matched up, just on this upper part here. And the next thing I did was I took a pen, I have a highlighter here, and I marked the line of where my yoga waistband is. Now I can actually see it through my pattern here because of the light. If you couldn't, you could just pull the corner up, and you're going to have your full piece here, remember. But you could pull the corners up and just kind of, or pull it down even, and mark it that way by putting the pocket behind it. But I'm just going to trace over top. I'm able to see that just fine, and I can see that that is my yoga waistband. So I've traced over the line where my yoga waistband is, and I've marked that on my pocket piece. So this is your pocket bag piece, and so I've marked that line, right? Here's my pant piece. So now that I know where my line is on my pocket piece, I want to figure out how to extend my pocket down. So when you print out your pattern, you're going to want to print your size, and then you're going to want to print the size 2 sizes down. Now if you are the lowest size, then you could probably kind of figure it out by drawing a line parallel to the dotted line that you wanted, and that looks like it's probably about 3/8 out, just past the 1/4 inch there. So you could draw that line in. But I had sizes below me, so I was able to go 2 sizes down, and I really found that to be a good size. So what you're going to do is, normally when you're making your normal pocket, you're going to come in here and you're going to cut this piece off right here. This would be the size 10. Here's my size 6. But if I did that, I would not have enough of an opening for my hand. By sewing this up, it would leave me an opening about that big, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in to the size 6, which is 2 sizes down from my pattern piece, and I am going to highlight this line because this is the line I actually want to cut on. So I'm just going to bring that down, and I'm going to carefully come down and extend it out. I'm going to try and stay within that 1/4 inch mark, kind of right down in here. You can kind of do the same thing. You can see it just follows it out. And that's what I'm going to do. And what that does is it makes my pocket opening all that much bigger to make it actually work for attaching my pants. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I know I'm not going to be using this part, so I'm just going to cut that off. Okay. And I need to transfer this line to my pant piece because I need to be able to cut that line in with my pants. So what I'm going to do here is I actually like to take it and I like to cut in partially and then skip probably about an inch and come above and cut in. And what this allows me to do is fold this piece back but still have it attached, so that when I go to cut the main pocket bag, I can cut it with the full 10, and then I can go down to the 6 dotted line and cut the additional 2 pockets. And now remember, we're doing the yoga waistband, and now I've already put my line in here, so I can even take this down. And on my pattern piece, what I did is I did the same thing that you just saw me do. I cut a portion and then I flipped over and cut another portion so that I could still leave that line attached for when I wanted to do a full set of pants. Just a little tip and trick I do. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pattern piece, my pocket pattern piece, and I'm going to line it up with my pants and make sure all my lines match up. Kind of tuck that in there. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the same thing by cutting basically the line I want. I'm also going to come back in and draw over it. You can choose to just pencil it in if you don't want, but this is what I'm doing. So then I know that that's where I'm going to be, so I'm just going to fold this in. Or you could just even trace it and just cut it off to make it easy. If you're one that's not going to use the pattern over and over again, that's another thing you can do. So when you cut out your pants, then you'll have your pant piece there, and this will give you the pocket opening that you're going to cut on the side seam of your pants. And that's how I do that. So that is basically all really the biggest part to the hack, is you're just changing that pattern piece just enough so that you've extended that pocket opening down. And that way, when you put your pants together, it works out to have an actual hole for your hand to go in and make the pockets functional. When you cut your pockets for your pants, you're going to cut them per the instructions, and that's 1 full pocket piece bag, and then you're going to flip it down to the half. And I'm going to make sure that my grain line is lined up before I get my pattern weights too much in the way. So I don't know if you can see exactly what I'm doing here on the corner, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that line, that grain line, and I'm going to match up on the side of my fabric to the grain line that's running there, so I know my grain line where it's at. And I'm going to pull my pattern piece so that this line is even with the grain line. So that tells me that's where my pocket is. It's a great easy way to get a grain line. And make sure that you're cutting your pants on the grain. And that works with any pattern piece, really. You just find that selvage edge, run it up along the grain line, make sure this edge is flat with the grain line, and then you move your pattern piece so that the arrow lines up, and it really does make a difference. Alright, so I'm going to cut 2 pockets with the full side at my 10 size. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Take that off. I'm working with Liverpool on these pocket pieces, which you would not want to do for a yoga waistband. It doesn't have enough recovery, but for pockets it's fine. And Liverpool snags, so when you are pulling your fabric away, you want to be extra careful there. Alright, so there's 1 pocket. So let's pull this over. And lay that down. So the next pocket, you're going to fold that little piece under that we had talked about to cut. You're going to put your pocket piece down. Again, you're going to want to match up your grain line. Now, I cut my selvage off, so I don't have that, but I can see my grain line when I'm doing this, so I'm just going to match my ruler up so that it's running parallel up and down the grain line, and then I'm going to match my pocket up from there. It just makes it a whole lot easier to do it that way, and it works. The other option you have is when you fold your fabric, generally you'll fold it. If you fold it in the right spot, you'll fold on the grain line, and I just moved that. So I'm going to do that again. There we are. So now I'm going to cut this pattern piece, and you'll see that I have the inside folded in. All right. So I have my front pant piece. I have my pocket. This is the back part. And then this is the other side. So these are the two pocket bag pieces. This piece has been cut for the there, and I cut my pant corner off right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and lay it on top of this side of my pants. I'm going to match everything up, pin. So I'm going to pin along here, right? So I've got the tops, two tops matched. I'm going to pin along there, and I'm going to construct my pattern just like the instructions tell you to from here on out. So here you can see I have completed the pocket construction, and I'm ready to move on to the step of attaching inseams and side seams and leg seams. So that's what I will be doing next in the process. I do want to show you real quick, I do baste a little bit further out when I'm doing the upper side there, and I basted down here. If you don't remove your basting stitches prior to trying your pants on, they will pop. Don't be alarmed. All right, so my pants are made. My waistband's all cut and prepared and ready to go. I've already quartered it out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the waistband to the pants. Make sure that you put your, if you're using a single seam in the back, that you match it up to the back of your pants or wherever you want it. Sometimes I like to cut the waistband so that I have two seams, but I just did a single like the pattern instructions are for this video. So I'm going to pull my pants inside my waistband, and I'm going to match up my quarter points. Alright, so now that I have all those quarter points matched up, I want to make sure to put extra pins in because I want to make sure my pocket's secure in the right spots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I've already got my pocket kind of basted down, so that helps. And I'm going to stretch my band and kind of lay it down. And this takes a little bit of finagling, and if you're using cotton lycra like this is, it is going to roll on you. And I'm going to kind of line this up. I'm going to stretch my band so I can figure out where my pocket points are supposed to sit. And then I'm going to hold my hand there, and I'm going to put a couple pins in. And I'm going to do this to the other side as well, so that when I'm sewing, my pockets end up attached to the waistband in the appropriate spots. So you're going to see me put this waistband on kind of like, I'm going to pin it like it's a neckband, people. Just making sure everything lines up there. So grab your waistband and stretch until it's laying out kind of flat, and kind of pull that up. You don't want your pants to be stretching, just your waistband. And you'll see this part's kind of the tricky part when you're attaching the yoga, you know, getting the pockets in the right spot. So I'm going to stretch that, pull that up to where I want with my basting stitches. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my machine, and I'm going to sew this up. And there we have them. I attached the yoga waistband to the Mama Fit pants, and I have pockets. Sometimes you can have your cake and eat it too. Have a good day.